the incident last night. What do you make of that? What's the commissioner do?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting one for him because, you had the fight last night with Serge Ibaka and Marquise Chris, but I would think that this is probably on top of his desk this morning. I think for Russell Westbrook, it's like a he said. We don't exactly know what happened, but if Russell Westbrook feels that that's what this gentleman said, I could see why he would be angry about it. I think he would have helped his case a little bit if he didn't threaten the wife in this one.
Yeah.
I could see you getting mad and maybe alerting security to it, but it seems like the person who said something might have a history according to maybe some of the social media stuff, and then Russell Westbrook has gotten into it a couple of times with what's gone on in Utah. If you remember, he walked off the court last year at the end of that playoff game, which ended with a bit of controversy because it looked like Paul George might have been fouled shooting a three. Nothing was called, and before you knew it, he was walking. The series was over, and as Westbrook was walking off the court, someone had a cell phone camera, was kind of sticking in his face, and he slapped at the guy's hand.
Yeah.
So, I think this all kind of goes into it. I just think that Russell, in that case, I think if he had to do it all over again, it's one thing to get mad at the guy in this case, but to basically be threatening his wife too, I think that's where he didn't help himself.
Yeah, I mentioned this fan had taken down his social media. Seton checked it a couple of minutes ago, and it's back up. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think we should be vetting out both sides here, understanding what Russell Westbrook heard, but also where's this fan coming from? And judging from social media, which he says is now fake news, he had an agenda that there's definitely a profile here of this guy. So before we cast aspersions with Russell Westbrook, I got to look at both sides here. Yeah, but I think the commissioner's going to have to come down on Russell Westbrook. He's going to have to. Well,
and come on, Dan, we know that this stuff used to go on all the time. Interactions between players and fans. That Charles Barkley, I'm sure, has gotten into it a bunch of times. Same thing with even Reggie Miller. It's just that everyone in the crowd wasn't there with the cell phone camera recording everything, and I think that probably played into it a little bit because I think the fans, and you and I, we've been to Utah, we've been there for games. The fans there are tough. Utah, Indiana, Detroit, they have some really tough fans who aren't afraid to say things to players. And I think in this case, the people sitting near the bench, I think they wanted to get under Russell Westbrook's skin because it had happened before, and there were people recording it, obviously, as he kind of went off on this guy.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.